In this tutorial, we are going to be creating a flyer similar to what you can see on my screen. So in our previous lesson, we learned how to design a basic flyer. But in this session, we are actually going to take that experience further by creating something as beautiful as this. Looking at this flyer for the very first time, you might think it's something very complicated. But the truth is, it is not. If you look at it very closely, like we discussed about creating shapes and fonts to come up with a very good design, that was the exact thing that was used in this very design. And let me break it down. We have a couple of shapes and fonts category in this very design. And to start with, you can just imagine that there's a box from this angle to this very end, which is one box that shows this gray. Then we have another box, which is this blue, this lagoon blue here. Then we have this gray box. Then we have another box, right? Then we have this image frame that cross between this blue and the gray. Then you have your text in between, and that's the design, okay? But let's try to do it and see how it really works. So navigating back to my Canva, I am just going to open an existing file. But if you want to create yours, just make sure that you select something like a poster, so that poster can give you like that portrait kind of view. Let's try this poster and see what we get. Yeah, so poster is going to give you this kind of view. Remember in the last lesson, we tried to pick something like the Instagram. We try to use the Instagram size, which is something similar to Instagram post. So this is like perfect square, while this one will give you that kind of like A4 kind of view. So I already have a design that's already created. The size was actually picked from this one. So I'm just going to open it right away. The reason why I'm using this is because I already had the finished project down here. So instead of us to be going to look at the PDF over the time, we can just in our design be scrolling down to see the segment that we want to use. So let's just dive into it. Now, it is not a big deal for you to create this design. I'm just going to zoom in this segment. I think this is a new update. This zooming thing wasn't there the last time I visited. So it's very handy for you to zoom in and zoom out. So for us to create our designs, we know that what we need is logo. And I think the most external content that we need here is the logo. We can get this image from the image panel right here. Just once we type, I think the image was gotten from when you type the keyword learn. You should be able to see something like that. Okay, this is the image, and the image is free. Okay, so when we get there, we're just going to pick the image. But the first thing we want to do is to draw our shape. Okay, so the first thing is, let's plan our design. One thing about design is planning. We need to plan it, we need to have an idea of what to do. So the first thing I think we should draw or create this very blue box here. So we'll just come to the top and look for our element. Then from the element, we can just grab the shape. Once we grab the shape, we can then just bring it here. You can see that the default color, because we've used this color before in the design, so it's a default color. To change this color, you can just click on the color and you can come to click on the plus. When you click the plus, just type in this very keyword in your own. So the hexadecimal color value is #4FADB8. Once you type it, you get this exact color shade. Then I'm just going to increase it down a bit. Once I have it like this, then it means that our design is almost getting there. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust this like this. So if you have your own design and you want to create something like this, you can create new page and import that image and just paste it in the second page so that you can just be scrolling down to see what you are doing. Okay, so right now we have our first shape. I'm just going to look at it again and say, okay, yeah, we have this second, okay, in fact, 2 boxes. So we have this second shape, but we are going to just draw 1 box. So I'm just going to copy another box, just place it here. I'm going to drag it down. You can see that when I try to drag it down, it wasn't working from the angle. So you can just drag it. Once you get to this point, you leave it, then you extend from the side. Okay, so let's check our design and see that we are doing something similar. I think it's kind of like similar. The next thing is we need another box. We need another box. So I'm just going to carry this one and just going to, so I can, let me reduce it a bit. I'm just going to put it so that it can key. I can still see white space on there, so I just need to clean it up. Then drag this to this point. Okay, so our design is looking more like it. The next thing we want to do is to change this to this very light gray. To do that, we can come to our color shade. So you might not be able to see all this color option on yours, but if you come to the plus here and you drag your color, just drag it to the lighter version, you can see that you have your lighter shade. Then the next thing is, okay, so I'm seeing something is wrong here. Something is not adding up here. Let me just click outside so that I'll not be selecting anything. You can see that something is, yeah. So I think we just need to reduce this inside a bit. Yeah. I just want to make everything here perfect. Okay, it's really not working, so let's just ignore it. People will not really be able to see it. Right. Okay, so let's just move on. Now, if we look at our design, the next thing we need can be the image. So we need the image frame to be able to do this. Remember, the kind of image that we have here is a landscape kind of view. So let's look for a frame that is going to give us that landscape effect. So I think this frame can work. Let's check it out. Let's see. Yeah, I think this this can work. Yes, this can work. Yeah, this can work. And another way again is, if you don't want to use this image frame, you could actually delete the image frame, and let's search for our image. You know, we search for learn, then we saw the lady here. So we can just drag our image, just drag it in. So the image normally comes with a frame. So the cool thing about getting the image frame is you can adjust it. You can adjust it. Now that we have something similar to that, the next thing is we know that we have our logo. We are just going to grab the logo from uploaded file. So the logo will be given to you. So I just pre-uploaded this since it is Instinct Hub logo. We're just going to drag it in and reduce the size. Yep. Okay. Everything is looking almost like what we have, but the challenge I have is that this gray is not supposed to be this big. If you look at the design that we have here, it's not supposed to be this big, so I'm just going to reduce it. And when I reduce, there's a white, so I'm just going to increase our other box. Now, our design is pretty much looking like what we need. The next is we need to start typing. Okay, I think there's one more thing. We need a box on top of our design. Now, at any point, you can you can reposition your element. I can bring this at the top, just come to position, bring forward, bring front, I think front, yeah. You can see that it's now on top, okay? So let's just undo so that we have it the way we had it initially. I'm just going to undo. Okay, so in the event where you create anything and the thing is supposed to be on top, you can just use the position to either send it backward or bring it further. Okay, so the next thing is we need our box here. So let's see how the box is drew. Okay, so the box is very close to the lady. So which means we can increase the image of our lady. So for you to increase just the image without the image frame, just double click on the image and just increase the side. Then when you're done, you can click the outside. So the next thing is, let's look for another shape under elements. I'm just going to bring it here. Then bring it to the edge here and reduce a bit. Okay, then give it a gray color. So for you to get this very gray, this specific gray color, you can see the number already, dark gray, which is # 545454. So you can just type that in here, 5454, and you're going to have the same dark gray. Right, so what they have there is learn graphic design. So I'm just going to bring the tests into it. So I'm just going to use, let's try subheader. We just say graphic design. Design. So I'm just going to click outside, then click it again so that I can drag it. Or you just target this blue line to drag it. Now I want it side align, yeah, so I can increase it. Remember, when it's blinking cursor like this, you can't drag it. You can't drag it. So we just click outside and just drag it, then it will work. Just going to undo. Okay, so we have our graphic design. Okay, theirs is capital letter, so let's change it to uppercase. You can see the option, uppercase. Now, if you look at what I am doing, I'm making sure that everything is on the same line. You can see, so I'll be maintaining that grid throughout the design. The next is professional tools. So what are the professional tools you're going to learn? We can also pick the subheading. So I'm just going to drag it here. The subheading looks bigger, so let's just reduce it a bit. And let's make it side align. So the more you click here, you're going to see more options. You can see justify, right align, centralize, left align. So left align works. So you can see the grid showing. So let's see what they wrote again. Professional tools. Professional tools. So we're just going to have professional tools. Then you can see that they used capital letter. So I'm just going to increase and bolden this one. Control B should do that. Then the font color is actually gray. I'm just going to click here. I'm just going to click it again, then change the color. So you can see that I'm always clicking outside so that I can select everything. So let's pick this very gray, dark gray. So I'm always, so to unselect, just click outside the entire artboard. Now we need to add the selection. We have Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. So we can use the body test to do that one. So I'm going to change it to left align, then bring it here. Then we need bullet points. So I'm just going to say Photoshop Illustrator, and InDesign. Okay, I think that works. This also should be the color light gray. Now let's use this one. Okay, so let's see what they have. Even though our font is looking bigger, but I think I kind of like it big like this. The next thing is we need this contact information. So to write the contact information, we have for a private viewing call. So I can just copy this, but I'm going to type it out since the idea is to show you how these things work. So instead of copying another text and styling it, I'm just going to duplicate this one. So to duplicate this one, I can just copy and paste, copy and Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. So let's remove the style, which is bullet points. Let's just remove everything. How is this? Okay, so just keep clicking until you don't see it. Then let's reduce the font size to like maybe 18. Then let's change the color to white. Let's change the font to something bolder. Yeah, something bolder. So I think what was written there is for private. Let's check it out. For private viewing, let's just use, so let's zoom in so we can see clearly. We can say so to highlight it, you can just, so let me undo, just click, double click, then Ctrl+A to highlight everything so that you can start typing new something. So you can say for a private viewing, then we can then say call. You can just use colors. Then we can have the phone number, can be 07000. I mean, this is just a fake number. You can have your own number on it. Then we can have the website. The website can be instincthub.com. Then we can have email address. Okay, so let's have the email address before the website. Email address can be skills@instincthub.com. Okay, so these are the basic information that we're going to just provide in case people want to contact us after they like our design. Yeah, so the next thing we have on the side, so these are wrong tests anyways. They're just dummy tests. So you can see 2-bedroom and the like. So here we can just go ahead and proceed and say, so to what I'm trying to do now, instead of Ctrl+Copy, Ctrl+C, and Ctrl+V, you could actually just drag and duplicate. And to do that, just hold your Alt key before you even click. When you hold the Alt key, then just go to click and drag. Just hold your Alt key, the Alt key, then click on the element and drag it to the point where you need it. So here we can just list what they will build. They are going to create flyers, they'll learn, okay, let's just start with, they'll learn design basics, then create flyers, create banners, which other thing, and they're going to actually get resources. You're going to get resources. Let's just say free resources. Okay, so now everything looks so together. Let's see if we can give space in between them. You can see. Okay. So, like I used to say, it's not a must that your design look exactly the same. So let's just have a title for this. We can just say, I hold my Alt-T, then click to copy, drag off where I want. I'm just going to double click and say Ctrl A to delete everything that I had inside. Just say take away. That's what they're going to take away. I'm just going to bolden it. Okay, so right now it looks even more better than what we have here. Okay, so they have new edition at the top here, so we can also have new edition. I'm just going to hold my Alt and drag it to the top. The advantage with this is that whenever you click on new body or head, you need to style it to make it look like what you want. But when you copy an existing text, you can just, to save you time, instead of trying to reformat to what you're currently using. So let's just say new edition. Remember, theirs is capital letter, so I'm just going to make it capital letter. And if we check it, theirs looks smaller. We can make ours too smaller because it's not the primary text, so we can make it very small. One thing we can do again here is we can, let me show you something. I want to space the character text. So you can see space in between. Let's increase it. So you can see space in between. It makes it more stylish. So let's zoom out and see what we have and what we had before. So if you check it, you will see pure similarity. So between just less than 20 minutes, we had created a stunning design, right? So at this point, it is now your turn to replicate this very thing. So you saw the style that we used. It wasn't a big deal. We drew our boxes. Then we just make sure that we added the appropriate image. The only uploaded file is the image, the logo here, the image of the logo, and that will be shared with you. This image was gotten from here, and we just drag the image into the artboard so that we can adjust the size as we want. And you can see that our design look very stunning. So it is now your own time to create your own version of design. And if you have any question, you can reach out to me and I will be willing to answer you at any point. So looking forward to see your solution. Okay, pro tip, when you're done with the design, make sure you share it on social media. I remember when I started my designs, I always do things and share. These days, when I go back to look at things that I did when I was learning, I always smile because I could see things not really as perfect as I am right now, but I could still, see a trace of how I started. So don't make that mistake of not sharing how you get progress in your design aspect. So until next time, I'll see you in the next one.